Moving into alignment is death. It's death to what you knew. It's death to how you made connections. It's death to what protected you even. It's real surrender. And it's very difficult for people. Catherine says, what have you found as the reason in many people you have worked with why we don't do or say what we know to be in alignment with the deeper and truer parts of ourselves and the world? Because it's death. For you to do what's in alignment with you, it would be death to what you thought you were. There's a you that you created to survive that is here controlling things. And then there's a higher you that wants to give you a miraculous world. But if you follow the miraculous world, the patterns, like my pattern that checks in with everyone, my pattern that gets permission for my own life decisions, right? That needed to die. And some days I just sit with it and I don't check in when I would usually or whatever and watch it die. And then I find tears show up that because it's direct between me and God now, more and more, right? But for you to be in true movement with your alignment, aspects of your ego die. So this stuff is very triggering because it's death. Like there's a David Bowie song called Quicksand. And he says in the song, he goes, don't believe in yourself. Don't deceive with belief. Knowledge comes with death's release. Oh, right? Like, don't deceive with belief, right? Belief is a deception. Knowledge comes with death's release. So moving into alignment is death. It's death to what you knew. It's death to how you made connections. It's death to what protected you even. It's real surrender. And it's very difficult for people. It can really trigger things because you have a way that got you somewhere. You have a way that saved your life. And some people are not ready to lose that because they go, if I lose that, then I might go back to a dangerous thing. Like if you were abused as a child and then you created a survival mechanism, then what happens is the survival mechanism believes that if it's not here, then the abuse will happen again, even if you're 50, right? So take in the idea that the reason we're scared to follow our true self is because our false self dies. And at one point, our false self will have to die. And our problem is the false self gets totally done being used. The false self goes, I'm no longer useful, so I'm depressed or I'm suicidal. It's like, no, you're the false self that's done, that served its purpose and got us here. So that's the first part. Then the next part of your question, Catherine, is it simply that our inner child doesn't want to feel what the trigger is bringing up and is a protection mechanism that causes us to take? This is, in my eyes, this is a great question, but it's also too complicated, right? Imagine it's just there's a higher you that's talking to you. And if you decide to take action on that, you will notice that the identity that was stopping that will start to go crazy and feel weird. And you will move into the higher self and become a space for it. You will become protection for it. You will become, right? Like, and you will hear it. And the more it's not used, meaning like you're not moving from it and making decisions from it, the more useless it becomes and the more it collapses. So you're basically starving the ego of its actions and then it falls, right? And it's so funny. I was talking to Tyler this morning on my team and he said that, he was tired of trying to figure out what is a pattern and what isn't. And the revelation we had was even figuring out what is a pattern, right? Because life isn't for figuring out nearly as much as it's for living. And if you got on a roller coaster and spent the entire ride trying to figure out how it was built, you'll miss the ride, right? Let it just take you on a ride and follow what you know is the truer you. And do the best you can. And if it's not, you'll be realigned. And know that even if you decide not to do that, you're still fine. It's still going to adjust you. Really take in the idea that no matter what you do, it's still going to readjust you. And that can help you meditate on it, right? You meditate on the fact that everything changes anyway. And what's the energy that's changing it? What's the energy that you can just connect to anyway, right? So, Catherine, I would undo a lot of the aspects of figuring out the why, because that could be used to stop you from just moving forward, right? And if you just understand, oh, the problem is it's scared to die, but I'm willing to let the false me die, then if you're willing to let the false you die, that's a different planet, right? You just get to the more now you. And a lot of times you do things that aren't like you to do. If you've been an introvert your whole life, you might be shutting down information that even you need to see. So extroverting it would help. If you've been extroverting your whole life, you might be actually stifling your knowledge of what to do already because you're running it through everyone else's egoic filters, right? So it's trying to get you closer to you, right? And in so many other ways, not just introvert or extrovert, but if you have a false feminine energy or a false, whatever, overachiever, false victim, whatever, it's trying to get you to follow and just let more and more God run you. And there's less you. It's just God. There stops being a you that even has control anymore. We surrender control. Life is getting us to surrender control. And even the figuring out can be control. Why is it? Why am I always doing this? That area doesn't give you an answer that you'll like, right? It just gives you an answer to make you go, oh, because my dad did it. Like, versus what's trying to arise here? What's it want me to see? And what's it want me to do or become? That's different. Then why do I always do this? Hear the difference? Why do I'll never figure it out? Why does the ego always do this? Kind of a dead-end question. What's trying to emerge? What's trying to arise? What's trying to show up? What am I? A live question, right? That what's trying to emerge question is a Michael Beckwith sentence. And he will be on the Absolutely Everything Pass, by the way. We're scheduling that. So I'm going to have a night with him, right? And, but he's someone who was the first person that really taught me about emerging. I think that that's a really big concept. I'm just going to talk to you about that for a second and how I see emerging. Something's happening in your life, good or bad. What's trying to emerge in your life? Is it more compassion? Is it learning to wait? Is it learning patience? Is it learning take action? Is it surrendering certain people in your life? Is it a new level of health is trying to emerge? Is a better relationship trying to emerge? Is it your ability to say no? Is it new boundaries? Is it like, and when you ask that question, get very open and don't answer it immediately, right? With all of your life, even if nothing big is happening right now, what's trying to emerge in your life today? You could take anything. You could take, you're really sick. What's trying to emerge? Just watching a sunset, getting away from my phone. What's trying to emerge? Feeling my heart more, meditation, green juices, whatever, changing my diet. So before we go, what's something that could be trying to emerge for you before we go to the next question? What Okay, so someone said fasting. That's a great answer, right? What's trying to emerge? I want you to just be open to miraculous things. Miracles could be trying to emerge. Boundaries and valuing self, quicker decision making, self love, the warrior, listening. What's trying to emerge for you right now? What's trying to emerge for you in the rest of this year, right? Now over high. Me, Kendra says, me, I'm trying to emerge. Self-love, receiving, resting, says Melissa Rose. See kindness. Kindness is trying to emerge. My dream life, right? My true self, trusting the process. Better health. What's trying to emerge for you? Openness, patience, right? A healthy, pain-free body, right? Self-acceptance. Isn't this power? And do you hear the power in this question and these answers, right? And even if you don't get addicted to what's trying to emerge, just almost open a portal of many answers and be open to that happening at its pace, right? You don't have to be like, oh, it's self-compassion, so I better force that. It's just like all of this is trying to emerge, right? Right? My intuition, more love, learning of who I am, creativity, right? Big, beautiful show, patience, acceptance, surrender, adventure, allowing. What's trying to emerge in your life, right? This might be a YouTube video at one point. So if it is, and you're watching this on YouTube, put in the comments what's emerging for you. It's a nice tribute to Michael Beckwith, the greatest question I was ever asked. What's trying to emerge? That's my favorite question in the world. I'm currently getting my car washed right now to remind you that in September, I'm doing a small, intimate event in Sedona. If you want to get dinner with me, and then you want to do a 2-day event with no more than a total of 60 people, we're doing an amazing VIP event called Miracles Normalized. You have to come to it. Tickets go up in price August 1st. Right now there's an early bird price. And if you want to be in a small group of 60 people and have dinner with me in Sedona in September, join us for Miracles Normalized. We're going to normalize miracles and make things magical, because life is magical if you know how to follow it. I have to leave the car wash.